Welcome back, everybody. Canadian Silver Saver here, and today I want to feature a fun commemorative coin here. It's the Titanic 100th anniversary coin from back in 2012, and I want to use that as an opportunity to talk about what you will pay for silver and why do you buy the items that are in your stack, your collection, or your savings. And I list it in those kind of categories because for me, what I buy really depends on, there's kind of a mood behind it or a purpose. So collectibles have a little bit different purpose to me than poured silver versus silver that I'm buying for weight and such. So I want to talk about that while having a little bit of fun, focusing on quite a unique coin here done by the Perth Mint. And we know I'm a fan of the Perth Mint. I really do love their stuff. So here's the box. Let's get to it. And it's a colored coin. And this is where some people will say, well, I'm not going to spend that money on a coin. So this one goes for just around $100 Canadian. This one's limited to 5,000 of them. Perth Mint. There you go. That's the box for it. And then inside, it comes with this really unique and cool certificate of authenticity. So I want to go through this with everybody. I'm not going to read all the details on the back of it, but you'll see that it's quite unique here. So open it up. There's the Titanic there, RMS Titanic departing Southampton on the 10th of April, 1912. So we're coming up on that anniversary again. And here's the staircase, and this is interesting, and I want to talk about this a little bit. It says, Titanic Grand Staircase was similar to the one on her sister ship, the RMS Olympic. So if anybody has followed some of the history, or if you're into maybe some conspiracies and things like that, there is quite a big belief that the Titanic itself was not the Titanic, that it was actually the Olympic, and things like this are reasons for it. It's due to the windows and stuff outside, insurance claim, and and then there's also the JP Morgan and all that kind of stuff, which leads to what we get into. So with all that ties into what we do a little bit with the money and Federal Reserve after that and everything. So but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Look that up and look about, if you don't know about that, just look up the theory that the Titanic was not the Titanic. It was actually the RMS Olympic. So there's the captain of the Titanic there, the bandmaster that was playing while the boat was sinking. Shows you first class gymnasium there, so that's kind of neat to see inside the Titanic. It shows the lifeboat there. There we go. It's kind of a sad photo, very surreal to me. I mean, the survivors, yes, but just think what they went through, They watch friends and family not make it too. Very sad. And to live with that, I think there's a lot of people that have been, if you've been through some major tragedies and you were somebody to come out of it, a lot of people ask the questions, why me? Why did I make it out? Why not one of the other people that, so some people, they feel they're maybe not deserving, right? So now, before I get to the back here, we want to look at the coin. I'll talk a little bit what's on the back here, and then this will help me lead into why I'm focusing on this particular product. So this one here, this is from the original poster. That's what you're looking at here from when they were getting ready to set sail. So there's the 100th anniversary. Again, a colored 1 ounce piece, 999 pure silver from 2012. It's in pretty much perfect condition. I mean, this is it's been stored well. Just a beautiful piece. I'll probably put this one up on my website as well if people are interested, or send me a message if you like it. Basically, it's one of those things where if you're into this, or you've got a friend or that likes ships or the Titanic and that, this is a great little gift. But 1 ounce piece of silver here is, you're going to spend $100 on this, and this is where we're going to get to the questioning here. What will you pay for silver, and what is too much? And this comes from a couple comments I've had recently, as well as some orders that have come through, and people just asking some questions about pricing and that, and and there's a lot going on out there. But if you look at something like this, these have sold. I mean, maybe not this particular one. This wasn't a super popular one or anything like that. But people buy these and they pay the money for it. But the weight to the stack, they're still only adding an ounce. So somebody will say, let's just get an example here. Now, as an example for here, I am going to be a little bit focus on some of my items that I've put out there. But here's one of the hockey sticks. So this hockey stick is about an ounce. I think it's an ounce and a half actually. So ounce and a half hockey stick, and that's going to cost you well under the price of that, but you're going to pay more for this hockey stick. Let's say it's an ounce, just to make it easy. But what you would pay for an ounce of this is not what you would pay for this ounce. And then when you get into something like this, which Mrs. Vulcan made, and then I've got my maple here by Vulcan, you can't expect to pay a couple dollars over spot for items like this. Yes, you're buying silver and it's great, it's weight, this is my first one. Thank you there, Vulcan. Still have this on my desk, just a beautiful piece. But each one of these molds has to be done, maybe you can get 2, maybe 3 pours out of it, and you got to make a new one. So it's a very unique process. The time, they got to polish it, they got to pour it, they got to melt it down. If it's no good, they melt it, remelt it, and you get another one. So I know that, and I'm okay with spending the extra money on these pieces. And look at this beautiful jumping dolphins here. They've toned up a bit because I've held them a lot and shown them off. I have to be honest that these are some of my some of the pieces that I show off the most. They're just so well done. Mrs. V did these. Something like this again. Yes, I'm going to pay far more for this ounce of silver than I am for this ounce of silver even, and then this is probably going to cost me more than this one because it's, these are professionally made pieces, but this is from a mint. This comes from Perth Mint. They're recognized. They've got a big name. All of that stuff is going to add to the price point of what you're going to get on these pieces. Plus, the detail is incredible. Like when you get in there and you see what they've done to make sure that the detail is there in that coin and in the coloring, it's fantastic. Not everybody's cup of tea, I understand that, but it's understanding why people buy these types of pieces. These are for the collectors. These make people feel good. At the same time, it's still a piece of silver, so I still feel good that I add something like this to my stack. It makes me happy because of maybe it's a hobby or an interest that I believe in or really enjoy, but then it also does put that ounce of silver into my stack. Whether or not I end up selling this or flipping this, in this particular case, it's going to be sold, but that's not really the point when I'm doing it. I picked up that Captain America coin, same thing there. That's a gift. That's going to be a gift, and I could just give somebody a couple ounces of silver, but it doesn't really have the same impact when you give something like this. Or like these pieces here, like the detail that's put into this is incredible. And just with what I have handy here, if you're going to buy bullion, and this one happens to be a little bit fancier, but this is really just a maple. They don't tend to fetch a whole lot more than the regular maple. You can just go buy an ounce of silver like this, or a plain maple, or a silver eagle. The maples and the eagles, they look the same. And then just add that to your stack and just keep adding weight to your stack over and over and over and over again. And I encourage people to do that. Maybe you like to buy the Constitutional or the old Canadian silver in that, and you've got, come on, focus. Oh, it's not focusing. There we go. This stuff's great to have as well. And look at the condition of this. Franklin, just fantastic. A lot of Franklins are. You can get played around a lot with, but these are still great pieces to add, but you're adding really just, I think with this stuff you can get, there's rarities, there's years, there's condition, that's still different, but this is a collector thing while you're adding weight. This is a collector thing, more so than even worrying about the weight on it, because, the price point that you're paying. And then, again, these pieces here are great for gifts, adding some fun to your stack while paying a little bit more of a premium, but, you're not going to be spending 3-4 times the premium like you would on something like this when you get into your poured silver. Now, I recently did the rifles. And frankly, with the box included and the effort that has been put into these rifles by Silver to Burn, and then a little added touch with the boxes myself, these sold for $119 Canadian. And there was only 10 of them. And as far as I'm concerned, the effort, the time, what was put into them, and the sheer uniqueness of these pieces, that's a steal of a deal. I think $150 would have been, right about in that right range for Canadian, that is, based on the time, the effort that's put into there. But I know the community, and I know how people start to get concerned about how much they're paying for their pieces of silver. But these items are not to add weight to your stack. These items here, if you want to just add weight to your stack and say, well, I can get something for a couple of dollars over spot or at spot even for some things, go ahead and do that, and I encourage that. There's a lot of my silver that comes from that area. But when you're buying unique poured cast or when you have to get in there and start cutting it with a jeweler's saw, they have to paint, they have to polish these, they have to tone them. There's the time and effort put into that, and you've got to appreciate that that's what you're paying for. Buy this stuff for weight. Buy this stuff for the fun, the collectibles, and great gifts for people. And you will find some of these pieces that ends up being just phenomenal and goes up in value. It doesn't happen the same as when you get into some of the, like when you start finding this piece and you find one that's a year that's really rare, or it's got an error on it or something in there, cracked die or whatever it may be. But that's a different part of it. That's a different part of the hunt. What I want everybody to do is really start to look out there, take a step back, and encourage everybody that is collecting, stacking, or saving. And I say that with this because you're not really just, I guess you're stacking, but you're stacking to save for weight. Maybe it's the zombie apocalypse you're worried about, or whatever it may be, or just you want to have wealth for the future that is in your control. That's what a lot of this is for. Now, all of my poured silver, that is my community silver and that I have on my desk, that is meant to be with me for a long time because I appreciate where it's come from. But the reality is, if it comes down to it, I can't be too attached to this stuff. And if I need to, maybe not this one, but some pieces may end up being either traded, sold off, so that I can add more pieces to my collection. Or maybe I've got, a big medical or repair bill or something like that. And I may have paid a bit more over spot for these pieces than I would for something like this. But I've enjoyed it. Look at the uniqueness of it. Nobody else has it, or something like this where there's very, very, very few of them out there. The detail, the level, the effort, and the care that's put into this stuff, that's what I appreciate. I don't mind spending the premium because those few dollars I've saved anyways, because I'm not buying as much coffee, I'm not buying as much beer, because I'm trying to save for the future. So if we're going to worry about nickel and diming over spot on some of these pieces like this, then I think you should be focusing really just on this stuff here. And when it gets to a point where if you're doing that, take a look. And if you're buying Starbucks, if you're buying the premium stuff at the grocery store, if you're everything has to be the best for you, or there's just certain things you'll only pay a premium for, and I'm like that with some things for sure, then appreciate why people are paying the premiums on this, and maybe you'll see it yourself, and maybe you'll be adding some more of this really fun, awesome poured silver to your stack. So great little video here, I thought, to just chat with everybody. I really hope I can get some comments going down below about this. I want to have more conversations going with it for sure. And then just a quick little show here. You can pause this if you want to read through what it says. But it talks about the history of the Titanic, which a lot of us know, at least what we've been told about it. I am a bit on that conspiracy theory side. There's lots of reasons why I think that something wasn't right about what happened that day. You know what? I'm actually torn between which of the few conspiracy theories might be true. But there you go. So hopefully you enjoyed this, everybody. Please make some comments down below. Hit that thumbs up button. It really does help. While you're at it, hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell that's sitting beside it. Get out there, encourage friends and family to buy silver and gold in any way that they like to. Get them to enjoy it. And the reason why I think that silver is a great start, people say it's kind of bulky to add to the stack, but it's something that everybody can do, because if you save up a few dollars, you can buy an ounce of silver. It's a lot harder to buy gold and add it to your stack at an ounce at a time. So I think that this is a great way to do it and build your wealth while having a great time. Lots of ways to do it. Hopefully you're having fun while you do it. If you're not having fun while you're doing it, then try some of these ideas, because I sure have a great time, and I've been able to build a business, put wealth aside, and enjoy myself in the process. So thanks for hanging out, everybody, and we will talk to you soon.